You already know what it is. It's your brother, Virgil Berry, aka Stats with the Facts, man. And we here, man. Tap in and walk with us, man. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page.
Hey, Real Talk Podcast.
Yeah. What up? It's your brother, Virgil Berry, aka Stacks with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tapped in, tuned into another episode of Real Talk Podcast. Pre-recorded situation. First things first, all praises be to the Most High God, Yeshua HaMashiach. Excuse me. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, and of course, share on your social engineering out. Shout out to my brother Flea and my brother Murder, man. Two of my favorite rappers of all time. And like a lot of people who are fans of these guys' music, it was such a blessing, such a delight, and such a beautiful thing to see these brothers squash whatever beefs they had, and you know what I'm saying, and see what they doing now together as brothers and friends and business partners. It's a beautiful thing, and I think it's beautiful. On the other hand, shouts out to Gene Deal for being for the most part, to my knowledge, a real guy. Gene Deal's a person who I've heard a lot about from people from New York, especially older guys that I know. They say that Gene Deal is the real deal. It's mean like he was, you know, before he became an officer and all that. You know, he was out in the streets doing his thing, and as far as like, you know, being in the community, you know, teaching the kids martial arts and stuff like that. Let me say this about Gene Deal. Gene Deal's not a soft guy. He's like a excuse me, I think he's like a second degree black belt in Shorin-ryu karate or something. Some type. He's known in New York for teaching self-defense and being a guy who's a highly trained martial artist, and he's known for being a guy who's very, very known for his security and his protection skills, especially when it comes to celebrities. And I say all that to say that this thing going on between him, Cam, and Mace, man, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I remember that show, and I don't remember them saying anything like disrespectful towards Gene, as far as like saying he was soft or saying that he was a punk, or he wasn't like that. But you know, in my opinion, they were making light of the situation, and just because they said working for certain guys, that doesn't necessarily mean they was talking specifically to you, Gene Deal. Although you could have very well much have been a part of what they was talking about as far as like the wide scope of people. And I'm not taking up for Cam and Mace. I'm just speaking on what my opinion is of this situation, being a guy on the outside looking in. Now, do I think that Gene Deal was threatening Cam and Mace? No, I don't. That's not what I got from it anyway. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm saying I don't believe or think that he was. I actually kind of believe that, you know, he was trying to put them up on game about how to tread lightly, mentioning certain names. Now that y'all got this spotlight, due to the fact that that could possibly potentially be a situation for y'all, meaning Cam and Mace. And I you know, in that aspect, I don't feel no type of way about what Gene Deal is saying and why he's addressing Cam and Mace. I'm pretty sure some things that went on behind the scene that Gene Deal may be aware of involving Mace that maybe Mace don't want to talk about. Could be argued. Like I said, I'm a fan of Mace's music. I don't know Mason Betha the person. I mean, I've heard things about what Mace was doing in the streets back in the day from guys who are of age, but yeah, I mean, that really don't mean nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? When I look at Mace, I don't look at him as a street dude, as a gangster, none of that. Even if at one point in time he was, I look at him as a guy who was a very, very famous, popular, popping rapper at one point in time that had the game on lock. And as a result of his presence back then, he's still relevant now. That's what I know him. I don't know about the murder Mace and all the stuff he did. I don't know nothing about none of that. To be honest with you, I don't care. Same goes for Flea. When I look at Flea, I don't look at Flea as a street dude. I don't look at him as a gangster. I don't look at him as a guy that I should hold him to some type of code or something because he from the streets. I don't know Cam from the streets. I didn't grow up with Cam on Harlem, so I don't know what type of guy he's like in the streets or any of that, and I really don't care. I know about what he had going on in my city back in the day and the people he was connected with that I personally know. I know about that, but even at that extent, it wasn't like Cam was out here on the block every day and this is that and nah, I mean, not to my knowledge anyway. And at the end of the day, like I said, I don't really care about that because I don't look at Cam or Mace as a street dude, as a hustler. I look at them as very popular rappers who doing their thing, and I respect that because I'm fans of their music. But with that, all that being said, man, you know, when it comes to the music industry, all three of these guys have played in it at levels to where they possibly, potentially, specifically Gene Deal and Mace, maybe have seen some things, heard some things, experienced some things that would probably be in their best interest to not speak on right now. And I get that. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say if you're going to be an artist, be an independent artist. That way you can control everything around you. You can say whatever you want to say. You ain't got to worry about stepping on nobody's toes or speaking on some things that you probably not necessarily shouldn't speak on, but wouldn't be in your best interest to speak on publicly anyway. And I don't know, like Murder, you my guy, I love your music, but you still have to explain to us real ones from the streets, since you claim to be a real one from the street, you gotta explain to us what was that fake dildo joint doing in the bathroom that you had in your room at Puff's crib in that brownstone, man, that Cam said he went in the bathroom and seen that. You know, that's wild. Is Mace the only guy signed the bad boy who been through everything he been through and still alive to tell about it, and he did not get himself involved in some of that bull? It could be argued, right? Could be argued, but one thing I will say is this: if anybody knows, it's Gene Deal. Now, has Gene Deal said that anything compromising or pointing towards Mace being involved in any of that Diddy nonsense with the parties and all that? I haven't heard it. If he has, I haven't heard it. But I'm not saying he hasn't, you know, but whatever's going on between these three brothers, man, I hope they could have a conversation and, you know, work things out. But at the same time, man, you know, man, no matter what level of the game you playing in, you know what I'm saying, if you had any modicum of success like Mace had, like Cam had at some point, then you know certain people. You've been in certain rooms, you've been in certain circles, you've been in these environments, and you know what goes on, and you know what part you played in it, or if you did not play in it. And I'm gonna just leave that at that, man. Shout out to Cam, shout out to Mace, shout out to Gene Deal. I just think that this whole situation is being blown out of proportion. I don't know, maybe Gene Deal took what they were saying the wrong way. I don't know, maybe Cam and Mace said more than what they should have said. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's up for us to decide. Let me know in the comment section, man. What y'all think? Y'all think Gene Deal tripping? Y'all think Gene Deal was sending a threat, or do y'all think he was sending a warning? Do y'all think Cam and Mace is involved in other things more than what they talk about? Or, you know, everything they discussed as far as in the music industry to this day, you know, they've been pretty straightforward with. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's up to us to do our due diligence, use our critical thinking so we can come up with the proper conclusion for ourselves when we get told about and shown about and we hear about things of this nature. You already know what it is, man. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing social engineering. You feel me? Don't forget to click on that bell either. You already know, man. Hey.